At a time in which WWE fans are still reeling from the devastating news of Liv Morgan's shoulder injury, CM Punk comes back to remind us exactly what should be important when we talk about Liv Morgan these days. Yes, Liv Morgan is on the shelf. Everyone is focused on how does this impact Evolution 2? How does this impact the Judgment Day? How does this impact her women's tag team title reign with Raquel Rodriguez? But wait a minute. You think that's the story, and it is a real story to discuss. But at the same time, I think Liv Morgan should be celebrated, something in which CM Punk recently did. Because he's the person who just gave her the highest praise imaginable, and you really wouldn't think it'd be coming from CM Punk, yet the always controversial man is in the thick of it, right? CM Punk spoke highly of Liv Morgan, and as myself considering, I'm a Liv Morgan fan, and it's important to put a focus on his spotlight because what he just did for Liv Morgan, well, it's pretty significant. He gave her high praise, naming her his WWE MVP for 2025 so far. Now, yes, Morgan is sidelined. She has a dislocated shoulder that will require surgery, potentially keeping her out of action for the rest of the year. This injury came at an unfortunate time as Morgan has made a name for herself as one of WWE's most featured performers over the last year. During this period, she's captured the WWE Women's World Championship and the Women's Tag Team Championships and is now and has been involved in major programs. I'm talking about feuding with Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and most recently, Nikki Bella. Speaking during a live recording in Kevin Hart's Cold as Balls show at the Fanatics Fest in New York City, CM Punk gave Morgan credit for the work that she has done this year. He said, "Shout out to Liv, who recently got injured. She was like my MVP for the year. I look at people like Liv, who probably started right after I left 2014-ish, and just came from the time I've been around her and been able to see her work. Just the way she developed this last year and just broken out of her shell and turned into this little worker. Kind of warms my heart. I miss her first part of her journey, but to be here to see her grow into who she's become, it's disappointing that she got injured, but it's part of the process. Nobody gets out alive, is like what I like to say. When you do this, it's just part of the job. Now, of course, Liv's injury, something that she suffered in a match with Corey Sane on Monday Night Raw, is believed to have forced WWE to change summer storylines, multiple summer storylines at that. She was expected to be in programs with Roxanne Perez, Women's World Champion Io Sky, and also potentially defending the tag team titles, her Raquel Rodriguez against the Bella Twins, or at least working a match with Nikki Bella at Evolution 2, right? Now, obviously, that is no longer going to happen, and that really, really sucks. Liv Morgan does have a history of shoulder injuries, right? In 2023, she was sidelined, right? They did the injury angle with her and Rhea Ripley and forced her out of action for multiple months. And so when she came back, it was all about the Liv Morgan revenge tour, right? Getting her ultimate revenge on Rhea Ripley, going after her, taking everything that she wanted. She wanted to take out Rhea Ripley. She wanted to take away Dominic Mysterio. She wanted to take away Judgment Day, and she also wanted to take away the Women's World Championship. It was a program that in which dominated WWE storylines and Monday Night Raw for almost a year, okay? And CM Punk's a guy that when he speaks, his voice carries a lot of weight to it. It's CM Punk. You should. If you look at his comments and you compare Liv Morgan's journey to any of the storylines that have played out in WWE throughout 2025, I don't know about y'all, but like it is weird to think that 2025 is halfway over, right? It's almost July this year. It's just absolutely flown by. And if you look at, okay, John Cena winning 17 time, his 17th world title. You look at the Bloodline storyline. You look at Seth Rollins' alignment with Paul Heyman. You look at the rise of Braun Breaker and the rise of Jey Uso and the rise of Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky getting over and Rhea Ripley bigger than ever. For Punk to come out there and say, hey, Liv Morgan's it. Liv Morgan is the star that you should circle, the one that you should look at. That's your top star. I think it speaks volumes. I think it speaks volumes to Punk's respect for Liv, his appreciation and acknowledgement of Liv, what she brings to the table, because she brings a lot to the table. When you look at all those factors, you got to respect what Punk says. And more importantly, you got to respect what Liv has been able to accomplish. At the end of the day, is this injury going to define Liv Morgan and crush all of the momentum, all of the success, everything that she's been able to do in wrestling? Is it going to detract her? Is it going to derail her? I don't think so. Look, she's going to get surgery. We don't know how long she's going to be out of action for. But I also think that you could look at it and go, okay, whenever someone misses action, when they come back, they have a lot of momentum behind them. Well, Liv Morgan already had a ton of momentum behind her. She was already one of their biggest stars. I actually think if you go, okay, she was feuding with Roxanne. She was feuding with Io. There was tensions between her and Raquel Rodriguez. Maybe now is the time that you turn Liv Morgan back into a babyface, right? She already has a ton of sympathy. She already has a very loyal fan base. What if now is the time for Liv to go back to being a baby? And you go, okay, we could bring her back as a heel or a tweener, if you will, and she can work with some baby faces, and you just forget what they did with Roxanne and you forget what they did with Raquel and Io Sky. Or you go, okay, there's 3 major feuds that she has lined up, right? It starts with Roxanne, presumably that she takes her place in a tag team with Raquel Rodriguez. Then she feuds with Raquel. Then she can go back and feud with Io. There's so many different ways that you can go about her return, depending on how long she misses. If this is a situation in which, she's out of action for, 6 months, then okay, maybe you need to reevaluate. Maybe you need to go back and go, okay, well, we can't do this and we can't do that, but what if we did this and what if we did that? It's just really the waiting game. That's all this boils down to. And I think if you look at it like that, then it's like, okay, let's see how it plays out, see how long she's going to be out, and then go from there. That's what I think.